So what's different about Dr. Smith and Dr. Pond is that they come from a very systems level leadership perspective. So I do lots of different trainings that look at racial equity, look at cultural competency, just kind of different areas like that. But there's not really a space where you can look at both of that. And then a systems level. And systems work, is everything. We focus a lot on individual kind of racism and how that plays out, but the systems level racism is areas that we don't investigate enough of, I think. And I feel like I always want to grow in those areas, looking at institutional and structural racism and how that works. And so having a systems level position and having people who are really knowledgeable at systems level, I think that's really rare, and it's a great opportunity to be in a space with them to learn from that. They're both phenomenal in those areas. I think definitely the tenets of the critical race theory and how that connects to examples that are happening in my work situation. Just learning about the CRT itself is one thing, and it's great, but I think looking at actual examples of how that shows up allows me to start thinking about how I can start investigating and starting to maybe even transform some of them, or at least becoming more aware of that, and then be able to call it out when it comes up. So I'm not kind of struggling to figure out what is this thing that I'm experiencing or seeing. I have language for that now, and I have really strong examples for that now too. The beauty of this group specifically is that it's such a mix of different areas. So we have nonprofits, we have education, we have some corporations. It's a nice mix. So in spaces where you're just education based, you kind of talking from district to district, it's different than that. So I think I've already made a couple of connections. I've passed my card out, but I think it'll be powerful when we're talking about how do we transfer our learning, and how can you help support me in my learning, and how can I help support you? So that's a benefit for sure. As a director of equity in another school district, there aren't places really to get training around leadership specifically, and with the racial equity lens attached to it, or racial equity LASIK attached to it. And that's something that even though I'm in a space where I am leading, I also would like to be led. And so this offers me an opportunity to be challenged, to grow my own learning, to continue to be educated, to be with other people who are also kind of struggling with their leadership in terms of growing it and finding opportunities to kind of expand. Anyone who's doing leadership work, and not just because they're racial equity specialists maybe or in that work or line of work, I think they should attend this because there are opportunities to kind of investigate your own leadership. And I would say even interrogate your own leadership and kind of go deeper into understanding why am I the leader that I am, and where can I grow in my leadership? Where can I change in my leadership? How can my leadership be transformed or be influenced by other leaders?